Welcome everyone to this exciting interview segment. Today we have the pleasure of sitting down with Bourke Floyd, star of the Lifetime movie My Family's Killer's Affair. Join us as we delve Burke's insight into his character and the challenges of filming this movie. Thank you for being here with us, Burke.
Thank you so much for having me again. I loved our last chance we got to chat, and I'm excited to get to talk about this one. My family's killer affairs. It's really a fun one.
Me too. So, can you tell us a little bit about your character in My Family's Killer's Affair?
Sure, sure. So I play Matthew in it, and in the film, a woman who has lost her husband finds out that um, she had done IVF. She had done in vitro fertilization. She finds out that the egg the egg implanted wasn't. It's very tricky, right? Okay, so she finds out. She's surprised to find out that there was a misfiling or something, a mistake, right? And so these two sisters are are sisters that didn't know they were sisters.
Yeah.
And there's a single mom who has lost her husband who has a daughter. And there's a single father who has lost his wife who has a daughter. And the daughters are actually half sisters. Is that I'm so bad at this one. This one's it's so good. It's so good because it's complex and it's like you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
really, really well written. It's just hard to surmise that, right? And so I play Matthew, the father, the widowed father of one of the girls, brilliantly played by Josie Willard. And then Bella Carlson plays the other daughter. Her mother is played by April Martucci, and my sister, who's kind of a motherly figure in the absence after the loss of right, is played brilliantly by Cavi Borders, who's like lifetime royalty. Like
Yeah.
she's, Cavi's like queen. While we were filming, by the way, one of the days we were filming in Atlanta, we were filming in this beautiful home in Atlanta, and our holding area was downstairs in this home, like this like playroom, this cool little room they had downstairs. So we're all sitting on the couch, put on Lifetime. There's a premiere. Cabby Borders is the star. So we're watching we're filming a Lifetime movie that Cabby Borders is in, watching a Lifetime movie that Cabby Borders is starring in that's premiering. And the one that she had premiered 2 weeks before was number one
Yeah.
on Lifetime at the time. So it was just like, yeah, I mean, okay. So we should just call this the Cabby Borders movie about Cabby Borders being Cabby Borders, brought to you by Lifetime.
Yes.
Um, in any case, so yeah, so there's a complexity to these families, right? And the half sisters, are surprised to know each other. They have in common that each has lost a parent, right?
Yeah.
Which makes for a difficult time. One's a couple of years older than the other. One's graduating high school, and the other one's graduating college. And there's just something, their relationship. One of the daughters, one of the young ladies, there's something sus about the other one, right?
Yeah.
And there have been some deaths. So the mom, one father was killed in a car accident, but the mom, and there was no suspicion there. It just is what it is. The mother, my wife, was killed in a home invasion.
Oh,
Yeah, and so and that person was never caught. And we go through. It's such a cool story of them getting to know each other, and both of these kind of families, kind of their inner working dynamics, kind of trying to work together, all the while under this murder. This murderer is on the loose still,
yeah.
and some other occurrences. Another murder occurs, and it's like, and you can't tell if they're connected. I mean, it's all very. This is one where I was shooting it, And when I found out who the murderer was while we were shooting it, and I'd read it, I had read it. I knew. I had read the page. They give us the script. You know what I mean? Like I knew who the murderer was. But while we were shooting it, during the thing where they discovered the murderer, I was like, what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's just so good. It's such a good script. It's such a good story. And you're like, oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so good. And Jeff Hare, our director, is like, he's got so many hits, not just on Lifetime. I mean, he's got a bunch of hits on Lifetime, but he's just such a great director, such a strong director. But his like, he gets it. He gets how to like breadcrumb it and keep the audience, keep you leaning in and keep you guessing without it feeling um without it feeling forced or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? He's really talented. That's a careful balancing act, you know, to keep us guessing as to who is the murderer and why, and is there only one. I mean, maybe they really aren't related. You know what I mean? It's a great story. So I'm excited for everybody to see it.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a little tricky.
Yes.
And what initially attracted you to your role in this movie?
Um, so I will say that one of the only reasons why I was even allowed to play the role of Matthew is because my friend John Zimmerman, John Castle, John
Yeah.
Castle is his stage name, who has been in tons of Lifetime movies, like 8 or 9 of them. He's so good. He's so good. He was unavailable. I definitely would not have been able to play Matthew. I wouldn't have been asked to play Matthew if John was available. He's such a better actor than me. Like he's such a pro. Um, so I will say that there's this twist of it too for me where I was really excited to get to do it. Um, because it was filming in Atlanta and John was there already filming one, so I had friends there. Do you know what I mean? Which was cool.
Yeah.
Um, but what attracted me to the role is that Matthew is a girl dad, hashtag girl dad,
Yeah.
um, through and through. Like he loves his daughter so much. And there's just nothing he wouldn't do for her to protect her and all of that. And um and that might include, I don't know, that could include murder. I'm not saying it does, but I don't know. I don't know. But he puts her first in the whole thing, and I think that was a really cool, that's what appealed to me as a girl dad myself. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's what really got me geeked up about it. I mean, I've got 2 daughters, and like that had me like pumped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So also in hopes that the rest of the cast, I mean, Cabby Borders is brilliant. April Martucci's brilliant. Bella and Josie are like, they're going to be superstars. I mean, they already are, but they're going to like, they've got huge careers ahead of them. And I had my fingers crossed that somebody would teach me a cool TikTok dance. It didn't happen. Nobody did. I think they know better.
You can
But
you can
but
learn in some other movie,
that's
maybe.
right. Yeah. I keep wanting somebody to teach me the book dance from Wicked, but then nobody wants to teach me any of it. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think that is? I think maybe Dancing in the Stars isn't in my future.
So, um, what was it like working with the rest of the cast and crew on set?
Yeah. Um, they're amazing. This group is so strong. Their supervising producer JT was there the entire time. Ken, the director Jeff Hare, the DP, the director of photography, cinematographer Robert, and I had actually worked together. We shot a pilot called Background Action together, like a year before, and he's a genius. Um, it was it was such a blast working with this group. They're the same group that brought you like Stalked by My Doctor and a couple of these other hits. And I remember Eric Roberts and Eliza Roberts, who are like family to me, were super excited about me doing it. You know what I mean? They were like, "You have to do this. I can't believe it. This is going to be so much fun," because they knew them, and every positive thing that I'd heard about them ended up being completely true. It was just it was a lot of fun. I mean, listen, these are long days, right? They're long days. But but with this crew, it was a lot of fun. And like not for nothing, but everybody are so talented on this one. There's this guy Owen Carroll is hilarious in it. I've got to say, and I also have to give him credit for his sweater vests that wardrobe had him in. He's rocking these sweater vests with no sleeves. He's brilliant in it. Chris is great in it. This kid Chris, it plays Chris Brooks plays a character in it, and he is like, it's just the only way these work where you want the audience guessing and you want the audience trying to figure out who did what and why.
Yeah.
The only way they work, the only way they work well is if they're well written, which this one is, but like most of them are really well written. A lot of them are really well written. This one in particular is brilliantly written. But then it's not going to work if everybody doesn't play their role well. If everybody isn't in it, because like it's too easy to give it away if if you're not trying to stay true to what it is, right? Like you can give away the secret, and spoiler alert it. And like everybody on this one is so talented. I mean, you could just look at their credits, and it really was awesome. And Jeff, the director, Jeff Hare, I mean, he is an incredibly gifted director and writer and all of that. So he understood what he was working with, So it was cool. And April Martucci, who's like the star of the whole thing, she led, she led the way on it. It was really great. I mean, it was our very first shoot was the first day, the first shot on the first day was what we call in the business a walk and talk.
Oh,
Um, and you see them, right? You can picture it, right? It's the cameras all the way over here, and they're all the way in the background, and they're walking towards you, and they're walking next to each other, and they're chatting, and then you land, and then they finish the conversation, and they walk off. So we had this walk and talk, and it was a long walk and talk. And as we would walk off, you stay as an actor, you keep talking, right? Even if the lines are over until you hear cut. But none of that's going to make it. So we would do so April and I on our very first shot of this thing were when we would walk away in between that and cut, because you knew none of this was going to be aired. We would take turns saying something ridiculous, but in character. Do you know what I mean? We would say it in character.
yeah.
And it was just like, it was all right out of the gate. I was like, okay, this is going to be fun. Because walk and talks are like, they're not like super, super challenging, but they have their own set of challenges because it's sort of like dancing. The timing has to be right. The
Yeah.
camera all the way over there, their timing has to be right. Your timing as actors has to be right. You have to be moving at the right pace, speaking at the right pace so that you land at the right time, all the while the camera's doing their thing too. And so it's like dancing. And so to do that for the very first shot where we don't know each other yet, it can make it's exciting, and it can be a little tense, and it was just fun, and we crushed it. And I'm super excited for everybody to see this one.
Great. So I have to ask it because mo me and most of my viewers are Lifetime thriller and Hallmark romance fans. There will be sparks between Matthew and April's character.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Um, yes, but they're very subtle. I'm not, I promise I'm not trying to be, they're like, they're just, they're, they're very small, but they're there. I
Oh,
mean, it's April, first of all, and she's gorgeous.
yeah.
So like, you know what I mean? So I mean,
Yeah.
she's like gorgeous. So like, I mean, I don't have to be a good actor to be like, hey April, what's good, girl? Hey, how are you? You know, she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, there's a little payoff at the end, you know, that you get. Yeah, but this one is, I'll say that this one is all about the thriller.
Oh,
This one is like all gas, no break of a whodunit. Even the very opening of it, it opens with it's on. Like
oh.
when you see it, yeah, it opens right away hard. Like it comes in strong. So like with the thriller. So it's yeah, it's a good one. Buckle up.
We will watch it to see. So, I would like to ask you about the set. Uh, Atlanta, Georgia will begin set quite often in Lifetime movies and movies in
Yeah,
general, TV movies.
yeah,
How is working there, and how do you think it's a popular set now?
yeah. I love Atlanta. I love Atlanta. I grew up in Richmond, Virginia,
Oh,
which is about 6 hours driving north of Atlanta. I have friends in Atlanta. I've worked in Atlanta a lot. Some of my favorite shows were shot around Atlanta, like Covington. You know Covington,
yeah,
Georgia? Have you? Okay, right. So Vampire Diaries was all shot in Covington, and so like I know Atlanta well and love the Atlanta area. Um, the local talent in Atlanta is mine. They're so good. They're so skilled, and that's for cast and crew.
yeah,
They're they they could be working anywhere. They choose Atlanta. Do you know what I mean? They
yeah,
could. They're so talented. Any of them could be working here in Hollywood. Any of them could be working in New Mexico, New York, London, Rome. Any of them could be working in any
please.
film town in the world. They're that good, and they've chosen to live and work in Atlanta. And it's a real it's really awesome. It was really cool to be there for an extended period of time shooting that. I When I was on Dawson's Creek, we filmed in North Carolina, in Wilmington, North Carolina,
Yeah,
and it sort of felt similar to that when we were shooting in some of these. Like we shot just outside of Atlanta. I mean, it's still, you know, it's still Atlanta. It's still Atlanta, but it's like a small, you know, it's like a little nook
yeah,
just south of Atlanta. Um, and it was just like it felt it was really cool. I'm like getting like, I'm getting like emotional. Like it felt sort of, it reminded me so much of those days on Dawson's Creek, um, because it's just such a great, beautiful town. Wilmington and where we were shooting, and like Atlanta's got 100 places around it to shoot that are gorgeous and incredible. Oh, and the the
yeah.
food when you're in Atlanta,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, that's what's up. The food in Atlanta is amazing.
The South food.
Oh yeah. Oh man, the Southern food, shrimp and grits. Oh, don't even get me started.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
made it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you make it? What
I
time are we eating?
it's I hope I can a good cooker, but I'm not. So
Oh,
I'm not. It's time for dinner for me, so it's
yeah.
I could eat them.
Yes. Well, I'll come when I'm in Italy visiting you. I'll cook because
Oh,
I do the I'm a cook, so I got you.
oh, great. So, um, another curiosity. Um, what is your favorite scene or moment or behind scene while filming this movie?
Oh man, gosh, this one was such a fun one to shoot. It really was. Um, I think. Well, I'll say this. Um, there were a couple of days that had heavy storms, rainstorms, and Atlanta, that area, the South, has some of the most beautiful skies when it rains and so I mean, just gorgeous sunsets. And so that was kind of cool. Like I'd forgotten about that. You know what I mean? About how pretty, how beautiful the sky is. But um, no, I think one of there's the climax of the whole film, and April, Cabby, me, Josie, Bella, and it's the climax. So it is a big moving parts. You know, I mean, you are a fan of we're fans of these movies, so you know what I'm talking about. It's like
Yeah.
it's all the ins and outs of it, right? And so that took 2 days to shoot, and it was exhausting, but it was so much fun to shoot it because like especially in the climax, the pressure's on and the jokes were still, you know what I mean? The jokes were still coming and like in between, you know, and like we were still having a good time making it. So yeah, I think that was just it was just a blast to get to be a part of it.
How many days do you uh, film it?
So yeah, so I think we had, if memory serves, I think we had 18 days,
Ooh.
16, 18 days filming. And I had 10 of them, but I had, or maybe 12, but I actually had 5 days off in the middle that I had to fly to film TV. I had to finish up a guest star on a TV show. So I flew back here for
Yeah,
those 5 days that I had off and then was back. So yeah, but of that, I think I filmed 12 days or something like that. But I think we filmed total, I think they filmed 16 filming days over 3 weeks.
it's really short time as always with Lifetime movie.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'll tell you, like the, all the movies right now, not you know, not all, but the majority of movies right now are being shot on a, you know, I mean, even The Locksmith, the movie that I did, The Locksmith with Ryan Philippe and Kate Bosworth, I think we knocked that out in like 22 days or something, the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of filming, you know what I mean, of actual filming. So it's, I mean, you know, it's time is money. So
Yeah, exactly. So, change of subject. I would
okay.
like to talk with you about two projects. There are two upcoming projects of yours. Take Time to Dance and Saints Among
Oh,
the Dead. What could you tell about these two projects?
yeah. Okay. So Take Time to Dance, we shot in Nashville, Tennessee, a little over a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. That'll come out. Actually, that should be releasing in the next couple of months. Um, and it was incredible working on that. Jamie Hughes, Dave Cristinaldo is the writer and director. It's it is a movie about a relationship and a divorce and a family that's going through. those kinds of struggles and rediscovering what's important.
Oh,
Um, yeah, and what matters. And so that part of it was really cool to be a part of it. And Jamie Hughes is brilliant in her role in that. She's the star of it, and she's brilliant in it. And Andrew Ferguson. I mean, it's a great. I'm excited for everybody to see that one. And no, they didn't have me dance much in it. Again, I don't know what it is. It makes people think like I'm not light on my feet or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna break a hip. Um,
you
and
have
then
to make them think another things about that.
exactly. Yeah, I should show them. I'm gonna make a dance video so people finally see what a good dancer. I'm not a good dancer. Um, and then Saints Among the Dead. We're still in pre-production on that, but it's such a great script, and it's an action horror zombie-ish kind of film, and it is that script moved. And Michael, we call him Ocho, but uh, Michael Ochitera is in it. It's that one's going to be. I can't. I'm super excited once we finally go into production on that to shoot that. Richard Grieco's in it. Like it's going to be. It's like a classic zombie action. Maybe not zombies, but that kind of that vibe, right? Saints Among the Dead. Yeah, it's such a good script. I mean, I was like tearing through the script the second I got it. It's so I'm super excited about that one.
Great. Do you know where Take Time to Dance will air?
So I don't have that exactly yet. I know that we will have a premiere. I think in the next couple of in Nashville. I think we're going to do a premiere in Nashville because that's where we shot it.
Yeah.
Um, and then I believe, and I don't want to say because I think they're doing the negotiation right now for distribution. But I promise I'll email you as soon as I hear.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, the last question.
Okay.
Uh, what can you tease about your next project? What you're going to film next?
Cool. Yeah. So I have Criminal Minds, guest stars on Criminal Minds, the new season of Criminal Minds, season 18. The very first, the premiere episode of the season, I'm a guest star on that. And we already shot it, and it's rad. I can't wait for everybody. It's wild. It's so good. So Criminal Minds, and then I also have a guest star on an upcoming episode of SWAT on CBS with Shamar Moore.
Yeah.
Yep. So that'll come out. I think that's the 12th episode of the season that we're currently in. So that'll be out in a few weeks, and so I'm excited about that. And I just had Missionary with Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre. Um, that just released. They released an album. I know you're thinking probably I rap on the album. No, they wouldn't let me. I don't know why. I don't know why they wouldn't let me dance or rap. Like I don't have rhythm. Um, no, they released an album and a short form film with it at the same time, both called Missionary. And the movie's about 12 minutes long and amazing. And so I'm in that, and that was a lot of fun. So yeah, but SWAT and Criminal Minds and Take Time to Dance are all releasing sometime in the next month or two. So I'm excited. It's big time, but we got to get through the 24th. We got to survive the 24th and uh, a family's killer affairs first. So
Yeah, exactly. So this is it. Make sure all of you to go to my family's killers affair on LMN on 24 January 24.
I nailed it. I got the date right.
Right? And thank you, Burke, to join us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I love talking with you, and I love talking with your viewers who love Lifetime as much as I do, and Hallmark. We love
Yeah,
them both, but yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
exactly. Thank you. It's a pleasure for me. And thank
Thank
you
you
all
so.
for watching. Bye.